Hello, I'm Catherine Nicolato. I'm a member of the Frederick County Task Force on Aging. Not only am I on the Task Force on Aging, I'm a daughter, parent, a grandparent, a human resources professional, and I am a caregiver. The following presentation will leave you with important information to help you to better understand the impact of caregiving on businesses, and finally to connect you with important resources right here in our community. The reality of caregivers in the workplace is here to stay. The good news is you're not in this alone. Employers and caregivers have a lifeline in our Frederick County community. It is called the Frederick County Senior Services Division. Help is just a phone call away. Thanks for listening and enjoy the video. What does caregiving mean to you? Caregiving means caring for your loved one and for yourself. So the health and well-being of two people is at stake when caregivers do not self-identify. My mom, Catherine, was diagnosed with Alzheimer's more than 15 years ago. She was the anchor of our family, and she took good care of our family and my dad's parents. Daily, we are torn with balancing demanding work responsibilities and other personal and family responsibilities, with our strong desire to spend as much time as possible comforting my mom and supporting my dad through this difficult time. I am a caregiver with dual caregiving responsibilities. About a year and a half ago, my granddaughter Avery, who was 6 years old at the time, was diagnosed with a rare genetic lipid disease called homozygous familial hypercholesterolemia, or HoFH for short. Avery's cholesterol was over 800. Since 2015, Avery has received an invasive and hopefully life-saving treatment called apheresis every other week at Nemours Alfred I. DuPont Hospital for Children in Wilmington, Delaware. There is currently no cure for HoFH. Apheresis is one of a series of life-saving interventions to lessen the risk of stroke, heart attack, and early death. The treatments take an average of 4 hours. Here is where my role as caregiver comes into play. On Avery's treatment days, I leave work early to pick up her brothers from school and to care for them until my daughter returns from Wilmington, Delaware in the late evening. When I'm not helping my daughter with caregiving for her boys while Avery receives her apheresis, I am traveling to Western Maryland to support my dad and mom with caregiving activities. I share my story to encourage employers to recognize that caregiving is a growing challenge for employers. How do we define the word caregiver? And what is the typical profile of a caregiver in the United States? A caregiver, sometimes called an informal caregiver, is an unpaid individual. For example, a spouse, partner, family member, friend or neighbor, involved in assisting others with activities of daily living and/or medical tasks. The statistics that follow generally refer to caregivers of adults, but it is important to understand that caregivers can care for children with serious diseases as well. An estimated 43.5 million adults in the United States have provided unpaid care to an adult or a child in the prior 12 months in a June 2015 research report. Caregivers come from every age, gender, socioeconomic, and racial and ethnic group. Approximately 5 to 7 million caregivers in the U.S. are long-distance caregivers. 21% of caregivers live 26 or more miles from their care recipient. More often, the average caregiver is a woman, age 49, working outside the home. And this individual generally spends 20 or more hours per week providing unpaid care for a loved one or family member. And this will most certainly affect the workplace. There's the cost to replace employees. An employee with annual pay of $60,000 will cost the organization from $30,000 to $45,000 to hire and train a replacement. Then there are work distractions. There's the issue of absenteeism, supervisory time away from their primary responsibilities, employees' reduction in work hours, meaning full-time employees requesting a reduction to part-time status so that they may better juggle their work and caregiving responsibilities. So what can you do as an employer to retain caregivers and to support employees in their dual responsibilities? First, it is important to understand that businesses that now take a holistic approach to managing employees, one that recognizes that employees are multidimensional, are more likely to attract and retain dedicated, high-performing employees. What does support for caregivers look like? Communication, two-way, open communication. Flexibility. It's less about seeing the employee in their seat every day and more about seeing results, recognizing that some jobs demand that the employee be present at work. Workplace policies. Design your organization's employment policies in such a way to support and accommodate the need for flexibility for workers. Provide employee assistance program benefits, a work-based intervention program designed to identify and assist employees in resolving personal problems. For example, marital problems, financial problems, or emotional problems, family issues, substance and alcohol abuse that may be adversely affecting the employee's performance. Consider elder care programs or provide employees with resources near your workplace that they can access. And take a strategic approach to employee benefit programs to help employees to balance their work and personal lives and their caregiving responsibilities. For instance, provide on-site wellness programs that focus on areas of vulnerability for caregivers, such as resources and activities to control depression, informational webinars, and/or activities to address stress. Access the Best Practices Toolkit on REACT's website, respectcaregivers.org. Here's what businessman Lee Iacocca has to say about caregiving. No matter what you've done for yourself or for humanity, if you can't look back on having given love and attention to your own family, what have you really accomplished? There were many faces of caregiving in the U.S. Let's take a look. Caregivers hope that employers will understand that full or part-time, on-site or long distance, caregiving is both physically and emotionally draining. And we're doing our best to juggle our work responsibilities with caregiving responsibilities, despite the physical and emotional toll. I want to leave you with some good news. You can be a lifeline for your caregiving employees. This is a win-win opportunity. The Frederick County Senior Services Division is your lifeline. You don't need to have all of the answers. Call the Frederick County Caregiver Support Program at 301-600-6001 for help with this business challenge. And you can also provide this information to employees who could benefit from the resources of the Caregiver Support Program. Thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to watch this executive briefing on caregiving.